Barcelona. From the Layatani to the industrial dawn before, Barcelona had a name. Before Barcelona existed, this land already pulsed with life. The Layatani, Iberian peoples of the Central Coast, had built something remarkable, a network of elevated settlements scattered across the hills. They weren't building monuments, they were building survival. Defensible heights, access to resources, control of trade routes. This was the first lesson this place would teach, again and again. Location is everything. The imperial decision, 15 to 13 BC. Then came the pivot that changed everything. Between 15 and 13 BC, Rome made its move. On the summit of Mount Tabor, they founded a colony with a name that proclaimed their ambitions. Julia Augusta Faventia, Paterna Barcino. Barcino was a textbook Roman city. At its heart sat the Forum. From there, two main axes, the Cardo and Decumanus, formed a cross that organized everything with mathematical precision. Walls protected it all, first built in the 1st and 2nd centuries, then reinforced in the 3rd and 4th as the empire began to crack. Compared to Rome's great cities, Barcino was modest, but it had something invaluable. It was well positioned, and when empires collapse, being well positioned and well fortified becomes worth more than size. The Visigothic king Atholf recognized this and established his court in Barcino, elevating it to a political hub that mattered on the map of a fragmenting world. Conquest, reconquest, and independence, 711 to 987. After the Islamic conquest of the peninsula in 711, the city changed hands. In 801, Frankish forces led by Louis the Pious retook Barcelona after a siege where hunger, not swords, forced surrender. The city became a cornerstone of the Hispanic March, the Carolingian Empire's defensive frontier. Then came 985. Almanzor attacked and sacked Barcelona after defeating Count Borel II. Borel called to the Franks for help. None came. And when the Frankish dynasty changed in 987 with Hugh Capet, Count Borel made a choice that would echo through centuries. He refused to renew his oath of fealty. In simple terms, Barcelona and its counts began acting as if they no longer answered to Frankish kings. They didn't declare independence, they simply stopped asking for permission. The Mediterranean machine, 12th to 15th centuries. Barcelona became a city where maritime commerce mattered so much that it produced and exported legal frameworks. The Muralla de Mar, a compilation of mercantile and maritime law, gained influence across the Mediterranean and beyond. Commerce wasn't just an activity, it was becoming infrastructure. The political context fueled this growth. Barcelona belonged to the Crown of Aragon, formed by the marriage of Petronilla of Aragon and Ramon Berenguer, Count of Barcelona. As this crown expanded and traded across the Mediterranean, Barcelona benefited directly. Its merchants, ships, and commercial laws gained weight throughout the 13th to 15th centuries. In 1249, King Jaume I promoted the municipal structure that would shape the Consell de Sant, a key institution of Barcelona's self-governance for centuries to come. Building in stone and ambition. In the 13th century, the royal shipyards, drassanes, reels, became linked to the crown's maritime expansion. Ships, maintenance, naval logistics, the sea stopped being scenery and became infrastructure. Barcelona was becoming the Mediterranean's workshop. In 1298, construction began on the Gothic Cathedral of Barcelona. For generations, the city raised stone upon stone, building not for one king, but for centuries. From the mid-14th century onward, Barcelona consolidated the Muralla de Mar as a space for contracts and agreements. First a portico in the 1350s, then the Grand Hall at century's end. In that same period, construction began on the Church of Santa Maria del Mar, intimately tied to the maritime world and mercantile pulse. The work was completed in 1383. Siege, defeat, and transformation, 1640 to 1714. In 1640, the Reapers' War erupted. Barcelona understood a brutal truth. Whoever controlled the heights controlled the city. That's why Montjuic was fortified. At the end of the War of Spanish Succession, Barcelona endured a long siege and fell on September 11, 1714, when Philip V's troops broke the last resistance. It closed a political and institutional cycle. In 1716, the decree of Nueva Planta for Catalonia suppressed institutions and imposed a new political administrative framework inspired by the Castilian model. After the fall, the new power ordered construction of a massive fortress to keep the city controlled. The Ciutadella was entrusted to military engineer Joris Prosper Verboom. Works began on March 16, 1715, and to build it, between 800 and 1,200 homes in the Ribera neighborhood were demolished. The Economic Awakening, 1730s to 1778. From the 1730s, Barcelona began to change rhythm. Between 1736 and 1738, production of indians, printed cotton fabrics, took off, introducing a new way of working. Organized workshops, investment, specialization and demand that wouldn't stop growing. This new economic pulse began reshaping urban space and the city's relationship with its port. In 1753, construction began on La Barceloneta, a planned neighborhood by the port, on reclaimed land outside the walled city. It was conceived as a partial solution for displaced populations and directly linked to maritime activities. The momentum didn't stop at the factory floor. In 1758, the Board of Trade, Junta de Comercio, emerged as the mechanism organizing economic growth, supporting infrastructure, training, and commercial networks. In 1764, the city reinforced technical knowledge with scientific institutions, and in 1775 took another step by training draftsmen and designers at the Llotja School, created specifically to serve the manufacturing sector. When trade with America opened in 1778, Barcelona already had something crucial: production capacity, technical knowledge, design expertise, and prepared merchants. The foundation of what was to come. By the end of the 18th century, Barcelona wasn't yet a great industrial city, but it was a city that had learned to manufacture, to trade, and to compete. The foundations for the leap that would come next were firmly in place.